Good evening, MH Warrior TV. My name's Kerry Duval, the Warrior Queen. Tonight is the 300th show. So without prolonging it, let's get cracking. We've got an amazing guest. See you after this. Oh, hang on. Good evening, everybody. I'm join me to Warrior TV. There's a bit of an echo. I don't know why that is. Oh, it's gone now. Welcome to MH Warrior TV, Joe.
Hello, Kerry, the Warrior Queen. How
How
are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fine. Looking forward to this.
So am I. So we'll start with some quick fire questions. So, cat or dog?
Dog.
Okay. Favorite season?
Springtime. It's nice and warm.
I prefer winter because I love Christmas. Well. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, it definitely does.
Okay. And what's one food combination that you would never have together?
Oh, one food combination. It would be, well, chocolate flavoured ice cream. Not quite what you asked, but that does not go.
Fair enough. Well, I think with me it would be I think it would be salad cream and salad. I don't like salad cream. I like mayonnaise with my salad. But Adam would disagree with me. Speaking of Adam, he's in the comments. Hi, Adam. Hiya, Caroline. Hiya, Jenny. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this. Tonight is our 300th show, and Adam's let me take the reins tonight. So let's not screw up. I'm sure I won't. But tell us about you, Joe.
I am 51 years old. I've never fitted into life quite, apart from in my interest group, which was Nelson, old craft stuff. I love information. I love just getting it where it should be. Nothing beats it. History. And I was diagnosed aged 46 with autism, having had struggles at work. And
so tell us about your childhood. Was there anything in your childhood that suggested you might have autism?
Looking back, I would say yes. I went to, must be a friend of Granny's, and children were playing downstairs in the garden, and I just didn't join in.
Yeah. So you was never one of these that would like go out and socialise with the other kids on the street?
No, never felt there was any real need for it. I don't remember having many friends at school. Even in Brownies, I don't think I met yes, they're members of my six, but I don't really remember really knowing any of them very well.
Yeah. So when you came to think I might have autism, how did you begin to process that?
It had been mentioned a few years previously by somebody else, I don't really recall it, who thought I got autism based on the fact that she suspected that her children were autistic, and from researching them, saw all the same traits in, saw many traits in me. But it's when I was told by a district nurse that I might have Asperger's and not dyspraxia, which apparently is quite a common misdiagnosis or comorbid condition. It did explain quite a lot. I think there's still a lot of confusion and a lot of loss of confidence still from the route by which I'd actually gained the knowledge.
Yeah. So is that how you felt when you actually got the diagnosis? Confused?
It's a lot to take on board. So yes, and you don't realise that anything about the way that you are is how it shouldn't be.
Yeah. So would you say having the diagnosis has connected a lot of the dots and answered some questions about you as a person?
Definitely, it does. It explains the areas where I've struggled in, but equally the areas where I really exceed in, like socialising at lunch breaks when you've been socialising all morning. No way. The need to sleep to recover your energy, which doesn't apparently is not common either out in the non-autistic community. But then it does explain the fact that interest or is it obsession, and I really mean deep obsession. Lord Nelson of Trafalgar, the passion of the facts and the figures, which are absolutely indisputable.
Yeah. So Lord Nelson is your obsession?
He was my childhood one. He still is a deep obsession, and I still go through obsessions with the things go which are the hobbies, the new trends. But I'm trying to be very careful about that. I do keep, but I just love craft, and it's just a part of my life, and just all those colours and how to mix them up and what you can do with them. But I still go to Nelson events, and that was one of the first place where I found my peer group, age 12, amongst adults.
Okay. It's interesting that you say that you like all the colours and that, because that's one thing that attracts me to into Christmas, is because I love all the colours. I love the twinkling lights. I love the tinsel. I just love everything about Christmas. And recently it's come up that I myself might have autism, and obviously I'm looking towards maybe getting an assessment and seeing if I do or not. And Adam's obviously made that first referral for me today, so we'll see where that goes.
Congratulations. Well done for getting referred.
It's a little bit weird. I mean, thinking back to my childhood, I never liked socialising. I preferred being on my own. Yes, obviously I did go out and socialise, try and be this social person, but I always preferred being in my own room, in my own company, doing whatever I wanted to do. And my daughter she's going to panel to have an autism diagnosis, and some of the things around my daughter that I'm seeing with my daughter, I see a lot in myself as well, and it's just made me think, wow, they could have got this autism from me, maybe. I don't know. It would be interesting to see.
It is suspected that it does run in families.
Yeah.
But they're still trying to research that one.
Yeah. No, well, I was watching a video today about autism, just to obviously further my own knowledge. And one of the things is you're sensitive to materials and clothes. Well, that's me as well. So would you say that's one of your traits?
I would say so. I wear clothes that I feel comfortable in. When I know that I'm not comfortable, it's just not nice. One place, work uniform, I could tell him instantly that it was going to be scratchy. And so I always had to wear a t-shirt under it, a smooth one of these activity t-shirts, almost silky, because I could not bear the thought of it, the official tops touching my skin.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. I always like to wear hoodies. When I was at school, I always had a hoodie on under my blazer, and that I felt comfortable. And whenever the teacher would tell me to take it off, I'd just unfasten it and be like, I don't feel comfortable taking it off. I'm warm like this, and I would leave it on. Maybe that's just a thing, but hey ho. Back to you. So obviously, when you found out that you had autism, and obviously you've had all these feelings, you didn't just stop there. Obviously, you went into talking about autism. So how did you get into talking about it?
That was really a few years later, because I thought I'd look into public speaking and obviously autism.
Yeah.
And even totally untrained, first time talking in front of a friendly group of people, and people were saying how much they had learnt from me, and this would be from a 1 minute talk. And you get confidence from having been told a lot of your life that you can't communicate properly, you're looking all over the place and you can't think of the right words, and getting the encouragement there from them and telling them all, learning different systems. And it's just so nice to feel that you're spreading the word, that we're not all the classic autism, and we do have an ability and we do need to have a voice. And my voice came sort of experience at work after being effectively bullied at work and not understanding what was going on, or how to respond, which is, if you're outside of the autistic mindset, you can't always understand why you don't speak up to somebody. And just knowing that I was making a difference, being able to express myself better. And oh right, yes, we know somebody else. Oh, we got a niece or a nephew with it, and yes, I'm now spreading the word. I'm helping a few people, and now here I am.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's about spreading the awareness and the acceptance of autism. I mean, like you said, autism is not just the classic autism. Autism is a wide spectrum, and everybody's different.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually got a question off Adam. Let me just scroll up a little bit. It doesn't say if it's for both of us or you, so I'm going to direct it for you. What does the autistic brain look like from your perspective as a woman? Are you good at hiding your autism?
You don't hide, you mask it, you act to fit in, but it's not like stage actors. They are on stage, but then they come off, mask comes off, mask goes on stage. However hard you try to act to fit in, at some point you will fail. And I do say often at interviews, I have got autism, because you do have the issue. Disclose, don't disclose. And I'm told that no matter how hard you try, you can't hide it forever.
Yeah. I mean, while we're on the subject of masking, I seen this social experiment online where they had 3 women, and they were all sat separate tables, and they had this group of men come in and talk to them for a few minutes, and then they were asked afterwards, which woman did you think has autism? And none of the blokes could actually recognise the autism and said none of them. In fact, all of them had it, and not one male picked up on it. So it is interesting that some women are better at masking the autism. I think it's maybe they're acting a certain way to fit in with the crowd. Would you agree?
Yes, you do. You know what you should do. You know what you should say. You've got an idea of how to react. So you can do that maybe for short bursts. If it's for an entire day at work, at some point you will become mentally drained. That's the need often for me to have had to sleep, to have a wind down totally in lunch breaks. You know what you should say, and you know what the female fascinations are, like makeup and that hunk on TV or something. But you can't keep it up.
Yeah. So would you say that when you're trying to fit in, would you like pretend to have the same crush on a TV person or be into makeup and everything like that?
I would say so, yes. Did go through a makeup phase and the hair phase, but I never didn't get it right. And as a teen, I never quite understood the fashion thing. Okay, you've got to wear certain clothes and you've got to have high heels.
No. See, I'm one of these that I always went against the trend. Everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to wear this sort of clothes. You've got to wear high heels." I'm like, "No, I prefer my trainers and my jeans. That's what I'm comfortable in. You know, t-shirt, trainers, jeans. I'm comfortable, and that's all that matters." And I've only ever tried makeup once when I was in college, and I hated it. I've never been a makeup person. I never will be a makeup person. You know, I straighten my hair, but that's about it.
Yes, my hair, it's tidy and it's kept tidy. My work clothes, I know what trousers I like. I know what tops I like. Okay, what's the latest fashion? I've got no idea, but I'm wearing this to work.
No idea. Nope.
My shoes are comfortable. I did have high heels because I was told you have to have high heels for a female. Price tag was still legible on the bottom of the high heels when I took them to a charity shop.
Oh, I've never wore high heels. Not even when I got married. I didn't wear high heels. I had my trainers on. I was comfortable. No? To be
Nothing
fair,
wrong with
Adam
that.
had trainers on as well, so
I just wear what shoes I'm comfortable in, and I know what they are.
exactly. Why not? Be comfortable. So, what are you doing, say, in the next 5 years to raise more awareness of autism?
Um, do much more blogging than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually get more into speaking. It'd be nice to go into companies to actually explain how to actually interview autistic people. Sometimes people do see something and they do adjust, but others sort of, where have you come from? How was the journey? Blah, something else. And then they wonder why you ask the last question. Answer the last question only.
Yeah. Well, here on Warrior TV, we want to get to know our guests, and obviously we're open to anybody. So, I mean, you're not the first autistic person we've had on the show. We've had a couple of others as well. Not many. I think we've only had 2 autistic women that I know of. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. I've only come across 2 autistic women. So I don't quite know how many autistic women there are in the world. That'd be interesting to see a few more pop up and talk about their journey, finding out they're autistic. What would you say are the main traits of autism?
You have different traits between males and females, but what distinguishes autism from ADHD, dyspraxia, and dyslexia, all apparently on the originate on the right hand side of the brain. It's the communication aspect. That is what makes it stand out. Knowing how to communicate. Is it wanting to communicate? Very, very different forms of communication.
Yeah.
It's the interaction side, which which is an integrable part of autism.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously being autistic yourself, you'll recognise that there are a lot of ways an autistic person can communicate. So with children, they may be non-verbal and use sign language. And obviously adults, non-verbal, obviously they're going to carry on using sign language. What other ways is there to communicate? Because I only know about those two, talking and sign language. Is there any others?
The joys of the computer age. You've got pads.
Yeah.
You've got phones. You can just type things in. But that has been a saviour from a few articles I've seen of many a person.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You don't need to get to speak to somebody, as in verbal.
Yeah.
And I think that has made a world of difference. And it's so easy to type rather than write. As as I understand, so you do have writing can be slightly horrific for autistic people. It is for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it is. My son, when he was in school, because we homeschool him now, he found writing a challenge, and every time they wanted him to write, he would end up having a meltdown. And we did a little bit of research into it, and we found out that for somebody with autism, it's 5 different processes all at once. You've got to know how to use the pen, then the spelling and the grammar and the sentencing structure, and then the processing it all. And all that together creates a sensory overload, which is going to trigger a meltdown. And he hated writing. So he was more comfortable typing on a laptop.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At school, I was forever being whinged at about the state of my handwriting, which still resembles hieroglyphics at times, and I can't always read it. I can write 14 different ways, but I can't write joined up with my right hand going from left to right, but I can a multitude of the other ways. It's a bit of a mystery, and sort of the hand grip I can remember even aged 11, sort of gripping a pencil, desperately trying to write tidily, and the pencil lead broke.
Yeah. You know what? I'm seeing that in my 2 children. You know, when they're drawing with pencil crayons, they press on really hard, and I'm forever saying, you know, try not to press on too hard with the pencils. But now I think I'm wrong for saying that. That could be their autism. So I'm going to have to apologise to my kids for now. Oops.
Well, maybe it's just a case of you don't, with a pen, you know where the end of it is.
Yeah.
You press it down, you know where the end of it is. I like certain pens because I can almost feel the writing. Whereas with a pencil, it's a totally different texture. If you
Yeah.
press too hard, the lead will break.
Yeah. Yeah. And while you're on the subject of pens, tell you what's really, really annoying is, and Adam annoys me with it, clicky pens. He'll just sit there going click, 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 and I'm like, shut up. To the point
There's a
I take the
few
pen off him and throw it. And I'm like, not doing that. It's really irritating. Is there anything like that that annoys you that you might think is connected to your autism?
I can pick up sounds sometimes quite far away if I'm trying to concentrate, and it is repetitive sounds. It might be squeaks on a bus or something, and I just pick up on it and I'm just waiting for the next one and the next one, and find that, and you're just trying to filter it out. And as autistic people, it's not always possible to filter out unless you're mega concentrating, in which case the wall preventing you from listening gets even thicker and sort of you don't respond. It is a case of extremes.
Yeah. But talk us through a typical day of an autistic woman.
I'm not sure there isn't a typical day, but it would always be, for me, it's pretty much the same cereal every day. I don't drink tea or coffee, so it's hot water.
Yeah.
Trying to get settled down into work, and you've got to set everything up and
Yeah.
make yourself comfortable. If your concentration goes, it's gone, and you've got to walk around. And if you're at home, you can't talk to many people, but you just got to walk around. If your brain has just gone blank, just relax. For me, lunchtime, I prepare my salads for the week on the weekend.
Yeah.
The only reason the salads ever change is because I've forgotten to buy one of the elements of the salad, or I can't get all the colours of the peppers, so I just have the one colour. And that forms the basis of my lunch.
Yeah. So would you say you have strict routines of, maybe you brush your teeth and then get dressed, or the other way around, or anything like that?
I'm not sure I'm that strict. I've been working from home.
Yeah.
But I go downstairs and set up the computer, get dressed, clean my teeth later in the day as I'm eating my cereal as I'm setting up the computer.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I ask that is because obviously my son, he'll do his morning routine in a certain way. So he'll brush his teeth, then he'll have his breakfast, then he'll get dressed, then he'll clean his room and make his bed. And then if he's got a cup in his room, obviously he'll take that downstairs with his dirty washing, and he'll do it in that same order every single day. And I'm always thinking, okay then. And then whenever we have to go out, when we will go out shopping or anything like that, he likes to know what we're doing next. So which shop we're going next, Mum? All right, okay, well we're going here next. So he knows where we're going to go next. Whereas before we had to do it where we're going to go to McDonald's maybe to have some dinner. Then we're going to go nip into Primark, or if we had to nip to the toy shop maybe because it was coming up to Christmas or his birthday or whatever. He would have to know before we even went into town. It's a little bit better now as he's getting older.
Well, I suspect, yeah, as I'm being at home, you don't have to worry. Yes, you have your breakfast, you have your cereal, might eat it in bed, and then you get dressed and you got the cereal, it's gone down, and you clean your teeth because it feels rather horrible, and then you would go out, and I would have my clothes out ready for the day, and my bag would have everything that I need in it. So it's almost just grab and go, and I'm sure there's I'm a lot more routine, and basically, okay, my evening meal, I know what I want and I know what I don't like. But it does go sort of, okay, it might be all, I can have the same food day after day after day. Absolutely no qualms. Or it's a case of I've got to eat this up. Okay, what do I feel? It is kind of an internal sensation. Will actually go together, and then it might change when I actually look at it all.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I can relate with that because my kids, if I let them, they would have pizza or burgers every single night. That's what they call their safe foods: pizza or burgers. But obviously, as a parent, I do try and introduce as much food as I can and make sure they have fruit, yogurts, veg, things like that are healthy for them.
It's a fine line between being varied and not forcing children to eat food they absolutely hate. And years down the line, from having been told you've got to eat this food, I still absolutely hate it.
Yeah. We actually had a comment from Jenny Barrett. She said that this is fantastic. Can you come to New Zealand? We need awareness here for every age group.
I'll be happy to find out how I can communicate. I don't know what the time difference is, so it might have to be a Zoom meeting, especially if lockdown is on. But I'd love to spread the word. If I can help just a few people to be able to be themselves and know they can say they're autistic and not have to be wearing a mask all the time just to fit in and acting.
Yeah. So before we end this, and you've been an amazing guest, what's one final message that you want to put out there about autism?
Don't underestimate the skills that we have. Don't put us into boxes.
Brilliant.
Let us be ourselves, and there's a lot for us. The modern world was made possible by autistic people.
Brilliant. Before we end, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Adam is back tomorrow at 10 a.m. UK time with Kane Novak. No idea what the subject is there. Please look out for that. Thank you for joining us tonight. Obviously, we've got 300 shows. Looking forward to the next 400th and 500th one. Be interesting to see who's on them. Thank you again for joining me, Jo. And we're going to end with a new video from our very own Rainbow Warrior, Caroline Bennis. So, see you later, everybody. Thank you for joining us. See you later.